Welcome to No Such Thing as Normal podcast with Natalie Hayes and Jess McKeown.
This is a casual podcast where we talk about all the things you're not supposed to talk about in order to help you normalize your real life, because we're all just a bunch of weirdos having a completely human experience in a society that asks us to pretend like we're not.
And I'm your host, Jess, a gifted channel for the spirit baby realm who facilitates deep soul healing by delivering divine messages and teaching you how to connect with your spirit babies.
And I'm your other host, Natalie, an intuitive mentor and a transformative healer. Should I add in a new mom? Like I feel like a new mom only needs to be said once.
That's true. You're still a new mom, though.
I'm still a new mom. Just update.
Okay. So with that, be sure to subscribe where you listen to podcasts. Watch our 100% unedited episodes on YouTube. That is so hard to say, by the way. And you can also follow us on IG at McJaguar and at Intuitively Natalie for more weirdo and woo-woo content.
And if you like this episode, please be sure to rate and review and subscribe and tag us and share it on your social media and tell your friends so that more people can unleash their weird with you.
Do it.
Do it. Mercury just got out of retrograde, so bear with us.
We're just like, we're ready. We're here for it. I actually cannot believe that we recorded 2 weeks ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
What is time? I don't know.
You texted me this morning or last night? Last night. And you were like, hey, you ready to record the podcast tomorrow? And I was like, what? I was like, we just did it. No,
we did.
A whole 2 weeks went by. Because I was like, oh yeah, I was on my moon cycle and now I'm not. So anyway.
That's wild. What is time lately?
Welcome.
I don't know. I live my life in 3-hour increments now. I have no idea what day it is.
That's true. I know time must be so different for you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it more like truly like you don't know what time? It doesn't really matter, huh?
It doesn't.
It's not like you have to be anywhere.
Right. This is my job. You're like, this is what I do now.
You do have to feed somebody, but yeah, I don't wear a watch anymore. And so I guess people say, oh, you can look at your phone, but I don't really do that. I don't have clocks around my house. There's a bird clock that my husband has in the office and it chirps a different bird. And so we're like, oh, yeah. It's the 9 o'clock bird. Or sometimes we're like, oh, it's the midnight bird. Like, we better get to bed.
Not the midnight bird.
Not the midnight bird. It's also the noon bird. So.
Oh, same. Well.
Okay. So we got some really interesting questions.
Yeah. We are doing something new for this season where we're going to pick a handful, if you will, of questions every episode. To answer your personal messages, but we're going to do it anonymously.
Yep.
And if you get chills when you listen to the answer, you're like, oh my God, this is what I need to hear. Then this message is for you too. And that's why we're doing it. So it's anonymous and personal, but still general.
I love that. Anonymous and personal, but still general.
Very applicable to anybody's life.
Welcome. But we're laughing because it's what a lot of the work that we're doing is this big collective work with this podcast. And we want to normalize things. We want to get things out there. And so as we were looking at the questions, I mean, a lot of you have really beautiful and specific questions. And we would recommend session with me, and when Natalie's open, session with her, to understand your intuition better, to understand your timing for your baby. We did pick questions that we also felt could have a collective answer and that we could expand on for the benefit of the collective as well. But we will keep these questions in the queue and maybe bring them up another time. So
yeah, so keep listening. Find out if yours is answered.
We're like listening whores, like, so keep listening.
Keep listening.
Come on. Okay.
Well, we did want to catch up first before we dive into the questions.
We did.
I texted Jess this morning and offered to start a new segment.
Yes.
Called Crises in Motherhood. Like, what are my new crises this week in motherhood?
No, it was something else. It was cuter. Fresh anxiety. It was fresh anxiety. I just loved it. Fresh anxiety of the week, the day.
Yes. The week.
Is it daily? The week.
Yeah, I'd say these come in about like week themes.
What is this week's theme?
Okay, this week, Maeve is very fussy. Oh my God, she's so fussy. I don't know. She's got like gas. Like I changed. Oh, breastfeeding. That's what's this week. The new crises. I like couldn't think of what it was.
She's like, oh, those are for next week.
My brain. Yeah. Breastfeeding. Okay, so if any of you have a kiddo or a newborn that's going to get like a tongue tie release, the dentist, because dentists can perform this, it doesn't have to be like an oral surgeon. The dentist, also, I recommend getting it done with a laser versus scissors. That sounds barbaric. And the laser will cauterize it. It's much less traumatic for your child. But so she got
but
this
not
done.
For the parent.
No, it's still traumatic for you. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So she got this done a few weeks ago. And the reason she got it done is because she was like really fussy, gassy, burpy, trouble feeding. She would fall asleep a lot while breastfeeding. And that's like an indication that it's really hard for her. It was taking a lot of effort because she couldn't get a good latch. She couldn't get a good seal. So she was falling asleep constantly. It was tough, you know, and then she's cluster feeding. She's not getting like full. It was a mess. So, and she would mouth breathe, which is not normal for a newborn. Oh. Very cute, but not normal.
So these are all signs that there could be a tongue tie.
Okay. Or like a lip tie or a cheek tie. Like they're all
What's a lip tie? What's a cheek tie?
The lip ties are like, it's the same tissue, but it's like up under your lips.
Oh,
so they can't, so they can't like flare. And then they can also have cheek ties. Like it's the same tissue, the same frenum, but on the inside of your
up in here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So she had a tongue and a lip tie. So we got that done.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, okay, well now we can breastfeed. Like perfect. Because I had been pumping for a week because I was worried she wasn't getting enough. I was worried she wasn't gaining weight and she was going to get dehydrated because I know too many things. So I was pumping for a week. So immediately after the tongue tie release, I started breastfeeding again. And what they didn't tell me was she needed to rebuild strength in her tongue, that her latch still wouldn't be effective. So last week, surprise, I got clogged ducts.
So fun.
Because her suck wasn't strong enough anymore. She needed to rebuild that strength. So she wasn't like draining enough with each feed. The clogged ducts led to me getting sick and I lost my milk supply.
Yes.
Like
she
it went
me pictures with her boobs in heating pads,
covered in a heating pad,
lotions, oils,
all of the potions,
massaging, like the stuff that you did to get this milk to flow. Intuitive channeling. We talked to the ducks.
Everything. I did everything.
So many things. And
then because of lack of sleep, I got sick, and probably from the clogged ducts. I think I had like an immune response, like some system just flared up and I was like sweaty. I had chills. I like sweat through my clothes for like 48 hours. And then it like my milk went away, which it will do that when you have a clogged duct. Like your milk supply will decrease in the affected boob. And it did. And then I got sick.
Does it like come out more the other one? No.
No. It doesn't like make up for it. And then sickness also can affect your milk supply. Everything can affect the way the wind is blowing can affect your milk supply. Come to find out. So I lost it, and it's not like I haven't heard of people like getting it back. I was really freaked out. Oh, so stressful when you're like responsible for keeping this newborn alive with your boobs, and then they stop working, and there's a formula shortage, and she can't have dairy or gluten.
You know,
so there's like very few formulas she could have. So it was crisis mode during the weekend, and I did everything. I pumped every 2 hours for 3 days. I started taking like legendary milk supplements.
Okay.
Got some sunflower lecithin to prevent more clogs. I'm like on all of these new milk supplements, which is why I think she's gassy this week. And then my chiropractor gave me fennel oil and rosemary oil. And I diluted it in some olive oil in like a 1-to-1 dilution and put that on my boobs. And within 24 hours, I was making adequate milk supply.
Wow.
Yeah. So I really think it was the oils. So if you're breastfeeding, tongue tie issues, whatever, if you feel like your milk supply is dropping, try all those things. But I feel like the oils really helped.
Because we had a long chat about formulas and donor milk and trying to find donor milk who are gluten-free and dairy-free, and just having to make those decisions in motherhood of like, this is the options. We got to make the best with what we have.
The best, like
we talked a lot about
last week, doesn't look like what you want the best to look like necessarily. So making decisions about giving her soy.
Yeah. And I can imagine, right? That's hard. But again, right, like feeding the baby over
that is best,
those other chemicals, other things in her. But yeah, I got a hit that you're right about the gases from the supplementsy stuff, whatever, because I just heard, because it's not for her.
Yeah. And
her body is just like whoop, moving it out.
And I want to harden the paint. Like I started taking 2 at once. So I went a little hard in the paint. I'm sure her.
But now milk is back. It's flowing. La leche.
Great. I'm having letdown. I wasn't having letdown for a few days. So
what
like it's actually where the milk lets down to your nipples. So it's
you
ready.
Go through your shirt sometimes. Is that what that is?
I don't. I am not an oversupplier. So I don't
an oversupplier thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's leaking. Okay.
I don't leak. Yeah.
Wait, what letdown? What is it? It comes like you can feel it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really weird sensation. It feels like pins and needles in your nipples. I mean, your nipples get swollen. Ready. Yeah, it's like the milk coming down, so it's ready. So they call it letdown.
I think we need a better term.
I know.
Rise up.
Rise. She's downstairs with my mom right now and she's crying. So I'm rocking. I'm like trying really hard not to rock because she's crying.
I heard that people do that, right? It's like a natural thing. They'll just like sway.
Yeah, she's really
so cute. Maybe you're like telepathically rocking her. No, I'm rocking too. One time I had a session with a spirit baby who was in heaven. Sure. Let me clarify.
The other side.
Yeah, the other side. So not in the spirit baby realm, but in the heavenly realm. Decided to cross over all the way and not return. But they had me hold them. And I held energetically a baby.
Oh, you told me about that.
The whole session. And I rocked them like it was just the sweetest. It feels good for me too.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Isn't it? That's why like people like rock when they're like kind of stressed out. It's like kind of helps process a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds really Freudian, like mother issues. Like
right. Like the rocking of the womb. Is that why you rock babies? Because it reminds them of the womb?
Yeah. And I have learned in order to like really settle her down when she's super pissed off, bouncing like up and down, like it's a lot on your knees. But that is more helpful because it like mimics you walking in the womb. So like up and down is better than like swaying.
Kids, you're out of the womb. Let's go.
Yeah. They don't know. She doesn't know.
They don't know. They're like, this womb is different.
Yeah.
It's like way bigger, but
right? Less wet.
People. Less wet. Oh my God.
But that's not the only crises in motherhood I had.
There's more on fresh anxieties in
fresh anxiety. I found out, which I told my birth story on the last episode, and then I found out that Cytotec, the drug that I was given to augment labor, actually is not recommended by the FDA for use in labor.
Hello.
It's just quote unquote common practice. And like in the moment, I felt good taking it. So I'm not going to discount that. I'm not going to say like, oh, I did the wrong thing. Like, no, in the moment, it did actually feel like the right quote unquote decision, the best decision.
The best decision. Yeah.
But the reason why it's not FDA approved, and that blows my mind because the FDA, I AFL don't trust them as the end all be all, the expert, because they always, their bias leans more towards pharmaceuticals. So for them to say a pharmaceutical is not recommended, it's kind of a big deal because it can rupture your uterus.
Hi.
That's a huge deal.
Maybe we shouldn't just casually use this one.
Right. It was like she was offering me Tylenol, which in itself is not benign, but still like, I was floored. I felt a little victimized. I felt uninformed. Like I wasn't given complete informed consent. And then Jenna reminded me that like, we don't tell everybody the side effects of every medication, the possible side effects that we had given as nurses. So like, I get that it's like a possible side effect, but like the fact that it's an off-label use, like it's not FDA approved to induce or augment labor blew my mind. And then I had my last midwife appointment yesterday and I was talking with my midwife about it. And I was like, I would have made a different decision.
Yes.
Had I known,
Yes.
as a first-time mom, I don't know what those strong contractions feel like. And so that was actually a false sense. She said you were basically in transition, which is like the hardest part of labor, for 5 hours. There was no slowly easing into it. There was no, like, those contractions are strong enough to rupture a uterus.
Oh.
She's like, I wasn't there when they offered it to you, or else I would have recommended you coincide that with an epidural, because it's kind of unheard of that you labored without one.
Why wasn't she there?
She just hadn't gotten there yet. It was
So
like early in the day.
They did it that quickly.
Yeah, well, because my water broke. And so they're like, we have 24 hours before this baby starts to die, which is not true.
Oh, this is like, let's get the contractions going.
Yes. And had I known that it could cause contractions strong enough to rupture my freaking uterus,
you'd be like,
and
oh,
also
wait.
it can result in fetal demise. Like, it could have killed me and her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have waited to start labor naturally because they were monitoring her and she wasn't in distress.
Yeah.
So I could have waited.
How do people, like, okay, this is the question that's coming for me from the spirit babies. It's like, are there like the 10 drugs they may offer you in pregnancy, right? Like, but you know what I mean? Like, and then like, are there like top things that we can have like a list up when we go in to be like, yes, no, or even like you said, understand the side effects. I mean, I feel like we have to do our own discovery and research on this, perhaps. I don't think a hospital is going to offer this, but
they're not.
I've heard like Pitocin, and I've heard epidural, and I've heard this is a new one to me, but like,
I think Pitocin and Cytotec are the two most common that are used to induce labor. And those cause contractions stronger than your natural contractions, which is why they typically lead to an epidural.
It just really infuriates me that they do this.
It can lead to fetal demise because the contractions are too strong. They're not your natural, quote unquote, natural.
Oh, it can cause like
your
stress
body
on them.
Yes. And that's also
like
I bled, was because my uterus was so fatigued from being like artificially stimulated to contract that hard for that long. So these things, like taking these, if your doctor like casually mentions like, oh, we're going to start you on Cytotec, or oh, we're just going to start Pitocin, like those are not benign interventions. They typically lead to more interventions like epidurals, C-sections, hemorrhage, fetal demise.
Yeah, the spirit babies are like, you cannot replicate the body.
You can't. And I get
like,
that sometimes you don't have a choice. And I understand that.
Okay. So tell me about this choice though, right? Like, you kind of were like, she's okay. She's not in any distress. What made you make that choice to do that?
I didn't know, because there was meconium in her amniotic fluid. Like, do you wait until she is in distress to do something? Because that would win me a C-section.
Right.
So, and I didn't want an emergency. I didn't want her to go into distress, but I would have waited longer.
My guides just said, please, everybody thank Baby May for bringing information and awareness about this drug, and please add it to your birth plans and your list of questions for your doctors, midwives, nurses, hospital staff, and team.
Yeah, it's off-label use to use in labor.
And like, I don't know, we just have to be our own advocates in here, you guys, and just bring these babies in healthy. And if we have souls like Maeve who come in and do collective work to inform us of this, let's spread the word.
Yeah, that's exactly why I wanted to talk about it, was because I know a lot of people that listen to this podcast are like thinking about conceiving or about to conceive. So just so you know, if you feel good about doing something, then it's a part of your path. Then like follow that. Don't let me deter you. But in the name of informed consent.
Yeah.
Just so you know, it's an off-label use because of ruptured uteruses.
And then, okay, so if they had told you that, what would you have then maybe just waited?
I would have waited to start labor naturally.
Okay. And if that didn't happen,
then I probably would have taken it. But I wish
the risks.
And I wish somebody would have said like, hey, these are going to make your contractions so much stronger, like 10 times stronger. Like this whole, like what, for 7 weeks now, I thought I was just like a little bitch. Like, how do people give labor? Like, how do people give birth? That was fucking terrible. It was the worst time of my life. It's the most pain I've ever been in. Come to find out, it's like artificial pain. Like, it shouldn't have been that bad. I shouldn't have suffered through that. Had I known that it was going to cause these artificially strong contractions, I would have gotten an epidural sooner.
Yeah.
I went through 5 hours without one.
Without one.
Yeah. Unnecessary. It was like unnecessary pain. And I think that's what I'm most upset about.
So a lot of, oh girl, a lot of what I'm feeling in this comment is place that we are in when we're giving birth around like having control, making decisions. Sorry, it's coming through really big because it's big energy, but like, this like, I don't know, like this, there's like a tearing down feeling that's going on right now. Sorry. It's just really intense for me. We talked a lot about your birth being collective and I just feel it.
It's like the disruption. It's just like a continuing from like a theme last year was this like disrupting of illusions. It's this breaking down of illusions that your doctor has your best interests at heart, that you can essentially entrust somebody else to make those decisions for you when only you know what those decisions are going to look like for you, what the best decision is going to be like for you.
Yeah. It's, oh, Natalie, it's just a lot. I have to like
it is a lot.
Myself. I think just if you're having babies, if you're on this journey, like this is an important part if you're birthing in a hospital, right? Like it's important to have this understanding of what's going on in there.
And it's like birth is so vulnerable. You have to be able to trust that you're in a safe space and that there are advocates and stuff there for you because you check out.
Yeah,
you can't give birth if you don't check out.
Oh, girl.
So like that's a part of the pain too. It's like the unnecessary pain that I went through in an environment that I thought was safe, in an environment where I thought they were holding my best interest at heart, and come to find out I wasn't informed.
Thank you. That thought came back to me when you said that. This like long ass journey. Okay. So the point that you're making about, had I known this information, I wouldn't have suffered for 5 hours before the epidural. What I just went through, you guys, I'm sorry if I was like a spacey cadet because they took me up and then brought me back down, but it's like, no, you guys, it's serious, but it's like, here we go. Yay. Like the suffering of women in childbirth. Like, you guys, have you seen that they're covering like the faces of women mannequins and like women can't bear their arms? Like, you guys, the stuff that is coming, my guys are saying like, don't say you guys, but like the stuff that is coming around how much people are okay with women suffering. It's done, friends.
I sent you that TikTok. Do you remember I sent you that TikTok this week?
You did. And all this stuff has been building. It's too much. We can't, it's like what's not normal, this
women suffering
means not being informed, whatever, telling them to be quiet, whatever. No. So fired up about that. But that's what they showed me, just this whole big expansion. It started with like this picture of Natalie. I just want to show you how my visions go, of like in the hospital, like not getting consent. And then it just like expanded to show me like not every single instance, but multiple instances of the collective work of this happening to women. It's unreal.
It's still like tied to that, like women aren't capable of making their own decisions for like their bodily autonomy. Like it ties into so many collective themes happening right now. And that TikTok that I sent you was about this woman who went to go see her primary care provider.
Yes.
And she was saying, oh, I'm so tired. I've been really tired lately. Blah, blah. She has a 3-year-old. And her doctor was like, welcome to motherhood. Didn't like run any extra tests, didn't like pursue it further. And then her husband went to his doctor and said the same thing. And they ran a sleep study and they did labs and they really tried to get to the root cause. And then like come to find out, her endocrinologist found out she'd had a pelvic infection for 3 years, causing her fatigue.
From birth.
Yeah. But she was just swept under the rug. Well, welcome to motherhood. It's not supposed to be hard, guys.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be hard.
No. If anybody says that to you, like in that way, welcome to motherhood, I feel like you have the right to like give the birth.
Kindly, fuck you. Yeah. Kindly, with respect. Fuck you.
With respect. Bestie, fuck off.
Bestie. Yeah.
No, it's not okay. And then my guides just chimed in, of course, like, and then just imagine being a Black woman, a woman of color,
even
right?
More.
Like maternal rates of deaths in Black women are even higher.
Abysmal.
It's just, we're not believed.
It's horrific. I know.
So we're fired up and we're going to fix this.
Yeah. We're hoping you're angry too.
Yeah.
Stand up for yourself. All right. That's it. Those are my fresh anxieties in motherhood. A could have died in birth, and my milk.
Could have not fed her child and died. So, basically facing death
Casual.
every day.
Really casual. Yeah.
on the DL.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's why people like make such a big deal about the first birthday, because they're like, we fucking made it
We
year.
fucking made it.
She's alive. Eat some cake. The babies are like, what?
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay. Wow. I love fresh anxieties in motherhood. I think that's a good way to share all your collectiveness.
I think so. If more come up, this might not be, I hope that this is not a weekly segment. Like I'd like a break, please, from the new anxieties.
Oh, I love it, fresh anxieties. But maybe that's a good question, is like, how are you dealing with the constant hijacking of your nervous system and feeling that you've maybe almost died or almost killed someone?
Correct.
Yeah. What do you do for that?
You just cry when you need to cry. That's the best thing. I can just cry when you need to cry.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
like cracks you open in physically, but emotionally. I feel so like raw and emotional, and like this little thing I love so much, like an inexplicable amount unless you've been through it.
Mm-hmm.
And also they could die at any second. And like, how do you reconcile those two things?
While also like getting dinner ready and doing some laundry and
feeding her every 3 hours and
doing a podcast.
Right. I felt I got some self-care in this week because I got to trim my fingernail. Self-care.
Okay. We're gonna send you cute nail files and Hello Kitty nail clippers.
Uh-huh. I will say, I think not everybody's motherhood journey is going to be like mine. I think Meg's a particularly difficult baby.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because I understand that she chose me and I can handle whatever she throws at me because she chose me. So having that mindset helps me navigate having a difficult baby.
Ooh, talk to me about the term difficult a baby.
She does not have to be easy. I keep telling her feelings are valid. I try not to shush her when she's being emotional. Like, have your emotions, feel them, but also let me change your diaper.
What would an easy baby be? Just like not crying, chill, like, hey,
I would say, chill. She's not chill. I do not have a chill baby.
It's funny because when I talk to the spirit babies, I do see that. I'm like, oh, like this is a super chill baby. Like they're just like, cool, put me wherever, do whatever. And then I'm like, this baby likes to be held at all times. And now I understand the challenge of that, because you texted me a cute photo of Maeve sleeping on you. And I'm like, oh, this is so cute. You're like, yeah, but I need a snack. And
I can't do anything.
We were like devising how you could put like a snack pack on you at all times. I need to
carry a fanny pack with snacks. My snack fanny.
Your snack fanny pack. They're popular. They're probably out of fashion now already. I didn't even get one.
All I wear.
Okay, good. Because I think they're so cute. And I resist trends for so long. So I'm like, is this staying around? Are you guys really wearing a fanny pack over your armpit right now? What's going on?
I love it.
And now it's here to stay. So I'll probably join in. I'm like on the low bell curve of that.
Yeah, it's a lot. Babies are a lot. Not all babies are a lot, but my baby is a lot.
I feel like when you said, no, I'm sorry. I just feel like when you're like, I have a difficult baby, I feel like you're like, right?
Oh no, I know.
I'm gonna get an A+ on this, right? Like I'm doing the challenging work. I think it's good to admit when you have maybe a more challenging baby, right? Difficult baby.
I think there's a lot of power in just saying that out loud. Like there's no shame around it. She's difficult. She doesn't have to be easy. I'm not asking her to be easy, but like my experience of her is difficult.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like it's not even her. It's just the environment and her adjusting to things,
I think it is a tough adjustment.
Like, it's her.
Some babies are more sensitive. She's definitely very sensitive, and we're very, very emotional.
Oh,
I know.
She's so sweet. I just love her energy so much. But I think like, it's just harder when you're tired and in a like adjusting to like co-regulate.
Mm-hmm.
What's making it, what is hard about it? Yeah.
I mean, it's the volume.
Like the loud cry volume?
Yeah. The scream crying. Well, I tell
Just
Jenna
my loop earplugs.
Yeah, get
Not
earplugs.
sponsored, but
it helps
these
you
are
regulate.
so good. Yes, I have multiple
Yes.
pairs because I'm noise sensitive.
Yes, if you're noise sensitive,
get some
if
earplugs.
your baby cries,
Yes.
put earplugs in. There's no shame while they're crying. It just helps you regulate.
Totally. They have literally on this website if you have kids.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's a great suggestion to help you stay calm because they pick up on your energy. They will escalate if you escalate.
And the crying, like that activates your fight or flight, right? Is that what it kind of does?
Yeah, because the cry serves a purpose that there's something wrong. So you go into like problem solving mode.
Maeve was like, there's so much wrong. Okay.
Oh my God, I know.
This planet.
I know. I was texting you earlier this week, like her diaper's wet and it's not like she's fussy about it. Like I know she's emotional because most babies might be a little irritated.
Yeah.
She is pissed.
Yeah.
Like,
she's like, this is the end of the world.
Pissed. And it takes her a long time to recover. And we fight naps. And her little sounds, like she won't be crying. There will be no real tears. But she'll scream and cry at you and then have these little breakthrough like bah, bah, like just to prove her point.
Wait, didn't we learn at your shower that babies can't cry till like 6 weeks?
Yeah, she didn't get real tears till 6 weeks or so, maybe 5.
Oh, but now she has real tears.
Now she has real tears. Yeah.
Oh,
but I still can't trust them. I still don't know if something's actually an emergency or not.
And it's hard. It's like interesting because it's like we didn't give ourselves as humans any other mechanism but crying.
Right. I know you called it her factory settings. Her factory settings are loud.
Okay, so it's the loudness of it, and then the volume, both in the loudness and in how much.
It's like the urgency and the intensity of the cry. It makes you feel like it's really urgent when she's like, I'm tired. What's wrong is she won't sleep.
You're like, chill, baby.
Yes. I know. I don't want to give her a complex because every time she like laughs or cries, I laugh. I mean, maybe it's just the way that I cope, but I don't want to give her a complex.
I think that sounds complex worthy.
I tell her that her feelings are valid when she's crying. Like it's okay to have these big feelings when your natural instinct is to shush.
Yeah. Oh,
I have really had to hold back on shushing because that like really early indoctrinates them into suppressing their emotions. So I'm like, have these emotions, have these big emotions. If I need to laugh to cope with it, laugh.
Okay, I'm like, I feel like it is a coping laugh. Like it's not funny. You're just like,
if you don't laugh, you cry. Yeah.
It's almost like the maniacal, like, this is wild.
This is so crazy.
What is happening? Motherhood.
Yeah, motherhood.
Welcome to motherhood.
Yeah.
That's gonna be our new podcast name.
Welcome to motherhood.
Welcome to motherhood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. Speaking of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
No,
oh, your recent experience with Jesus and shame.
So I'm looking for an office space in the Seattle Shoreline Edmonds area. So listeners, if you know of a space, hit me up on the DMs and
let me know
because I need a space. I've been working from my couch for 3 years now, and I'm ready to get back into an office. And so I've been looking and hunting, and like my true self, I haven't always done the work that I tell my clients to do, but it's not because I'm telling them, it's because Spirit is telling them.
Right.
But I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So I've been looking for office spaces and, nothing's been just quite right. And I kind of asked my guides, like, what's up with that? And they're like, well, you haven't been really specific. So I took that as a note to be more specific. And I was like, okay, this space looks really good. It's near my friends. It's near this or that, blah, blah. And I called the guy and he said, yeah, what do you do? Right. Because of course you want to know what somebody is doing in the space that they're renting.
As a responsible owner, you don't want it to be, like feeling people's skin.
Exactly. Side note, question mark, is Natalie a serial killer? Go
No,
back to that.
I'm not.
That's what they would say. Oh, like, no. No, she's not. She's not.
When other people yawn, I yawn. I am an empath.
Oh, okay.
You're not a sociopath.
Oh,
If
really?
you suspect somebody's a sociopath, side note, yawn in front of them. And if they don't yawn back, you are correct. Because they don't have that.
Run.
They don't have that emotional connection. Yeah. Just life hack. Jess, that's not a real yawn. That's not a real yawn.
Okay. Anyway, we'll check back on Natalie. See, you guys, it's true.
I'm not a sociopath.
She's a real one. So I just blurted out because it was late at night and I was excited and I just said, I'm a medium. Just like that. Boom. And he was like, oh. And I said, well, it was for spirit babies and I help people get pregnant. I was just rambling. I did not have my little sales pitch together. And because I didn't think it would be a problem. And he was like, he's like, he was kind. He was, but he was just like, I just don't know about that stuff. And, I really just, don't want you like conjuring up stuff, which I get. He's like, I just, really just believe in like, like Jesus. And I said, well,
me too.
Like, oh, and then he even said like, oh, I actually have some friends who are like trying and struggling to get pregnant. So I was like, girl, send them my name. Yeah. But I said, hey, you know what? I get it. And Jesus is actually one of my guides. But it was just this feeling, it hit my witch wound a little bit. Mm-hmm. This feeling of like, ooh, like not being wanted or not being welcomed because of what I do. And I have faced that throughout this whole spiritual awakening and opening. Mm-hmm. Like I've definitely have shifted relationships with people. People are sometimes no longer in my life. So it just reminded me of that experience and it sucked.
It sucks. I feel like that experience deters a lot of people from coming out of their spiritual closet.
Yeah.
Because you might get that response from somebody and you have to kind of, if it's your wound, you'll internalize it. But you kind of have to say like, that's their work. Oh, okay. That's not me. That's them.
I know. And I shared it with a couple of friends and they're like, ha ha ha, you could put a spell on him. And I was like, ha ha ha, I can't.
I did.
No. But it was, and it just, and I took it back to this entrepreneur group that I'm in, and we talked a little bit about it, and they talked a little bit about how I could reframe that, and I could talk about how I do spiritual counseling and how I could, I don't have to use those words as much, and especially if I'm like trying to rent property or like grow, because like we're gonna build a big empire, you guys. We're gonna, I got lots of stuff to do. So I started thinking about that, but then like after that response, like it's so funny. This is why I have to share this, because that little no opened up 10,000 yeses for me.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get clear. I'm going to get a space. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. I was like, roar. And so it really like it fired me up. Don't mess with an Aries, yo. It fired me up. And I was like, okay, I'm going to find a better office space and I'm going to do this. And I'm going to, and I kind of got this like surge of like
indignation.
Yeah, but like mediums have been around since the days of the Bible, as I like to say. Like we're in the Bible, we're helpful, we're healers, and the witches, like we're all good people, and it just made me feel like I don't want to have to hide that. I don't want other witches and other healers and other intuitives to like have to hide or worry. And so I don't know what is going to come of that indignation. But it's going to be something planted at this Aquarius new moon, you guys. So watch out.
You never know. The way that you owned it and were like, yeah, Jesus is one of my guides, maybe gave her permission or him permission to look at a tarot deck that week. Like you never know how you standing in your power and authenticity and like not internalizing their projections is going to affect them. Like you give them the gift of being able to stand more in their authenticity.
It's true. Like, and rock on, so I'll be conjuring up elsewhere.
Yeah. TBD.
Speaking of conjuring, shall we conjure?
Let's conjure. We're going to answer some questions. I'm so excited. I love that we're doing this, by the way. Like I feel like it gives us a better connection with you guys. and what you're going through. And we're really going to have like our finger on the pulse of the collective.
I'm laughing because we're like, oh, we're like not just recording our conversation.
I mean, we are, but
we are. But for your pleasure.
Yeah.
I have to cough. Hold on. Okay.
That was really considerate of you. Thank you for being considerate.
You're welcome. Okay. You have the questions written down. Are they in our
fun I
little...
do. Yeah, they're in our I was like waiting. Yeah. They're in our little file. Yeah.
We are so organized, you guys. Next
we
episode.
Share Google Drive. This is how professional we are.
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. How do we want to do this? Do we want like one person to ask and then you answer and I answer?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let's do that. Okay.
Am I asking or are you asking? No. We did not talk about this beforehand.
I was feeling like a moment of silence.
Okay.
Like I need to take a deep breath and transition into this.
Yeah, maybe ground for a minute.
Let's ground for a minute. So yeah, because they're going to listen to channeling too. Is it okay for them to listen while driving, Spirit? They say yes.
Yes. Put protections around you if you feel like you can't, or just pause.
And let's just all take a big breath in and let it go. So the first question is, when I use tarot to get an answer, all I get is follow your intuition. These are the cards, right? The follow your intuition cards.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Oh, shoot. Why can't I get a hint?
I love this question.
Okay. Me too.
Do you want to answer first? Do you want me to answer first?
No, you answer first.
Okay. I love this because I feel like for a really long time, I also was getting this. So maybe the message here is really to hone your intuitive skills so that you can tap in, because there's probably a part of you that isn't open to receiving what you want yet. Right.
Ooh.
So like the answers that you want, maybe you're not open enough to receive because you haven't built that intuitive muscle, that intuitive connection within yourself, within your own knowing. So I think that's what this particular message is like, grow your intuition, like lean into that connection, follow those intuitive hits. And, you know, a follow-up question might be like, well, how do I know what's my intuition versus my ego? Spoiler alert, I have a whole course to teaching you how to do this, like how through like various mediums, like through using cards or self-journaling or your Akashic records or crystals. Even if you don't have any of those tools, you can still take this course and apply these things. And it gives you like daily practices to grow your own intuitive connection so that you can start receiving the answers that you're actually looking for. You might just not be ready.
Yeah, because it is a practice. And I mean, I have your course and I love it. And I will go back and meet other guys and I will go back and listen to the meditations. Like you have it, access to it for the life of what do we say? Like the life of the program, so to speak.
Yeah, the life of my LLC.
The life of her LLC. But it's good because it's like, it's not a course that you just go through and like, okay, great, I'm done, moving on. It's like, it's like, keep practicing. Like when I teach my courses, like I teach just very basic things about how to channel your spirit babies. These are practices that I continue to do. Like I continue to channel crystals and plants. I continue to work with things like it's about building relationships. It's about building that connection. It's about building that language. It's about, because when you know that it's an intuitive yes, and you have no doubts, like it's amazing.
And I think this is probably a part of this person's path, which is why she's getting this card is like, we're not just going to hand this to you. Like, this is actually a part of your path to develop your intuition. So like, go do that. That's important.
Yes. Yeah. Because what I kind of feel like is sometimes also with this person, like we go to the tarot as like, give me the answer.
Right. I want the answer right now.
And I'm like, this is not the right like format for that. And the answer is to follow your intuition. And like, I feel like they're saying like, get off the couch. Right. And like, go out and like, be intuitive
put your effort into it.
Yeah. Play around with it, learn some skills, like, get out there and get to know your intuition. That's what I'm hearing. Get to know what your intuition looks like, feels like. Do you get tingles? Do you get buzzing in your ears? Like, what are your signs and symbols? And I think for that, you kind of have to slow down and be quiet a bit,
You have to really make an effort. You have to devote time to it. You have to commit to strengthening it. It's a practice.
I know. I wish we could just be like, it just boom, but it doesn't.
That's why I created the course. Here,
Yes.
have it. This is what you do. Here's how you can do these things.
Okay, that's on your website, ready and fresh to go.
It is. And you can get the first module totally for free.
What a fun way to start your new year. Like,
yeah, go meet your
higher
self.
bestie. Do it with a bestie.
Yeah.
Get it together. Have a little like tea ceremony. Talk about your guides or do some readings. I have lots of chills on that.
Ooh, I love that.
Because I think a lot of the stuff that you and I are both trying to do also is to create that community. We've heard from so many people that there's not, like, they don't have their intuitive BFFs and they don't have besties and that kind of stuff. But we could do stuff over Zoom these days, and you can find community through Instagram and through other places and do a course together. How fun is that?
It's so fun.
I had two besties in my course, and that was so cute.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And that's why, like, in the VIP option, I am coming back to doing intuitive practice sessions. So like, come meet some new intuitive besties once a month and like read for each other and practice your skills and grow them and like just chat. We just like talk. It's hilarious. I love this group so much. I'm starting it back up soon because I love it so much. But that's what the VIP course option, you get invites once a month to come and practice your intuition with other people who are doing the same. So like, there's no spiritual shaming.
Yeah, no, because I mean, you need a safe space to grow this, right? Mm-hmm. It's like once that muscle is strong, then you, like, I feel like a lot is working out that doubt and that trust and fine tuning that. And I think we both did that in our journeys, you know, like, I think I always share that I do like a validation list, like you're getting hits, start writing them down.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh yeah, that's true. That's true. And like, when you get to like 10, be like, maybe time to trust.
maybe this means yes. Yeah.
You want 15? Okay.
Okay.
Going. The last thing I feel in this card though is, why can't I get a hint? Ooh, girl,
that is the hint.
Spirit's not after you, right?
No.
Nobody's denying you anything, right? So I feel a lot of times like people get angry or upset or hurt, have these deep emotions when they don't get what they want when they're asking the divine, right? And so just kind of understanding that it works in a different way, right? That, you know, you are actually getting the answer, but it might not be the one that you want. Or like Natalie said, you might not be ready to receive it. And so trust that like, if you're not getting what you want,
what expectation do you have around it?
Totally. Yeah. Like that's how spiritual journeys work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then you have to be like, cool, what is that?
Go explore. Yeah. And what I'm hearing is like, what is the answer you want to hear? Because that's your intuition.
Oh, boom.
What are you looking for? That's your answer.
Oh, I have chills.
Yeah.
I have chills on that.
If you're disappointed with the card that you're getting, what is the card that you wanted?
Because deep down we have everything already
know.
Within everything. That's how I read. I just read your book of what you brought.
Yeah.
Some of you have big books. Some of you have paperbacks. No, I'm just kidding.
Read your book. I love that. But that is your tagline. Just like
some of you guys are PDFs. Just a single sheet of, no, I'm just kidding.
I'll send you a PowerPoint of my trauma to catch you up.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Anything more on that? Anything about tarot? My guides are saying, do we want to tap onto tarot, oracle cards, that kind of stuff?
I would say the only thing with that is like, don't get too specific about the way that your messages are coming through. It doesn't always have to come through a tarot card. It doesn't always have to come through an oracle card. And if you like strengthen and grow your intuition, you'll recognize when those signs and symbols are coming through in different ways.
Yeah. I'm also hearing like, let it be a launch pad to like journal, right? Yeah. Like if you get a reading and you're like, why I can't get a hit, journal that. Why can't I get a hit?
Try a different medium.
And then boom, out comes the hit. Yeah. Like if it provokes something or inspires something, you know, like keep that energy moving until you get that clarity or that answer. Like, what my guys are saying is like, some people stop at a bad tarot reading. They're like, oh, fuck this shit. You know, they're like, I hate tarot. They like, it's like, they're saying like, you guys don't try to channel through me right now. They're excited. Pull clarifying cards. Yeah. Right. Or do another.
You can always ask for more. Yeah.
Ask for more. I don't understand.
Maybe there's a different way.
Redraw it. Right. Like if it doesn't make sense, like you could be in a weird state, take a break, refresh your energy, come back, you know? So always be aware of the state that you're reading when you're asking, you know, for the divine. If you're in a flurried state, you know, you might get a little flurried of an answer, or you might read it in a flurried way.
You might not be in the best energy to receive.
Yeah. And then the last thing my guides say is like the decks matter. So there's energy in like Rebecca Campbell's decks that you share a lot. Oh, so pretty imagery.
Love them.
Traditional tarot, right? Like it's good to understand like the art. Like if you pull the same exact cards in different decks, you're going to get totally different meanings, right? Because they're using like different symbols. So just what they're kind of saying is like pick a deck that will they're saying pick a deck that will give you the answers you want. Like I don't read tarot when I want a soft, nice, loving answer. I read animal cards, you guys.
True. What are you looking for?
Yeah. And then sometimes I'm like, of course, look at the animal card that's like,
right, a honey badger. Yeah.
Something like that, right? The shark. You're like,
yeah.
Fuck. But yeah, I will pick, or like the Lemurian cards. I'll read those when I'm just like, I just want to feel.
I need a warm hug answer.
Yeah, I need a warm hug answer versus like when I go to read tarot doesn't fuck around, in my opinion. So
very
just
direct.
Get to know your decks, get to know your oracle cards, get to know, like, think of them as like people that you're going to talk to. Tarot is like your friend that's like, I'm not going to lie to you, XYZ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Death card.
Tower. Yeah.
Tower.
Devil. Yeah.
Devil. Right. So, okay. I think we've squeezed that lemon.
We did. Go to my website if you feel like you want to strengthen your intuition. Go check out my free resource.
Ooh. Oh, they get the first session free. The first lesson free.
Yeah, it is. Meet your higher self.
It's so good.
It's so fun.
Okay. And let us know if you do it.
Yeah, let me know. Well, I'll know, but I'll know if you do it.
Let Natalie know.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
Insight on the guilt I feel for my baby's difficult health journey and my worry for the future. I feel like this one is ripe.
Yes.
Yeah, Aval, I'm sorry that you're having so many feelings. But like I really do feel for you with this and the guilt that you feel about your baby's health journey. It's so like understanding it now from a new perspective. I did not understand it before.
Tell me about that.
I mean, just having, like, I told one of my close friends I could never go back to working in the ER after having a kid. I would not be able to separate myself.
Wow.
Because it's just cracked me open in a whole new, like, emotional, vulnerable way. Nor would I want to.
Right. Like you have to be so separate in that work and just stay clear in your saving your life.
I can't anymore. Yeah. I don't want to. So I feel for you. And I know that it's tough to watch them suffer through the choices that they have made. But trust. I think the biggest message that came through with this question was like, trust that your baby chose this. And like the best thing that you can do is just support them through it.
Yeah. And I want to speak to that guilt. It is one of the heaviest emotions. I think shame's the lowest, but guilt is like lowest number 2.
Yeah.
And I think one of my missions is to rid mothers of mother guilt.
Yeah.
So let me tap into that guilt for you, my friend. And this is for all mothers who are having a guilt about maybe their children and their health journey and all that kind of stuff. In the space of guilt, you are taking blame for this when truly you are the chosen one to help this soul through this experience. If you can actually see this as a divine opening for you, your compassion, your understanding, and though it may be different than other mothers' pathways around you, you will find solidarity and community in those who are similar, like you, walking this path. And just trust that this is what this baby wants to experience. And I just got this message just kind of recently too, from some other kind of channelers and stuff that I've been listening to around the babies and stuff. But like, you know, babies who live like really short lives or have really short contracts, like if we could see these babies going through this in a different light, if we could see what it is that their souls are actually trying to achieve, wow. And we could support them as parents. Because what I feel like in that guilt, honey, this is what they're saying to me, is that you want to fix it.
You can't fix it.
It's not yours to fix.
It's not yours to fix.
It's yours to love.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's where a lot of
Love it.
mom guilt comes from, is the trying to fix, but like you
Yeah.
cannot fix. You can only hold space.
Hold space, love,
Mhm.
be that container, be a resource, be a soft shoulder to cry on, empathize with their pain and their struggles. And I get it. I see what you're seeing them go through. And
It's
I
tough.
know you want them to have that childhood, but like I have chills on this. Part of it
Mhm.
is a part of why a lot of these babies also come in and do this work is to make more and more accommodations for all of us, right? And so maybe you're chosen to be an advocate to make more and more accommodations for all kinds of babies to live and exist and be.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
I
And
just want to give you a hug.
yeah, and cry if you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it out. That one's tough. Ugh, seeing your kiddo
Okay. Then I want
suffer
us to
through
talk
something.
the word for the future, right? So like, especially like, what's it going to look like when they're 3 and 5 and 10 and
Yes.
17? Um,
It's not up to you.
yeah, they're just showing me like it's still coaching through teenage years with this. And it's almost like they're saying, how can you really work with this? How can you, this is your clay.
Right. And I think remind yourself that future problems are for future you, and future you can handle those problems.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that you've been saying that. I have a lot of stuff coming for my future self.
Yeah. But it can handle it. You're going to be in a
Yeah.
different place. You're going to have all of this experience behind you. Don't
You're going to have a network and
necessarily,
community.
yeah, pile on to your anxieties about the future, because that's for future you. Future problems are for future you.
Yeah. And future you has heard this podcast, has done some healing, right? Has done some
Yes.
grounding, has done some perspective shifting. And
Mhm.
like when you get to those next levels, like you're going to make it through. And like what I feel for your soul is what a joy to find your community and your connection to help you through this. What a
Yes.
joy. What a joy. That's that keeps saying to me that.
It's a part of your path too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's going
it
to
is.
lead you places that you didn't
Yes.
expect.
Let it lead you. Let it
Yeah.
take you there.
Ooh.
Ooh, I have chills on that, you guys.
Let
Ooh,
it
can you
lead
see
you. Is
those?
that a song?
Is
When
it?
Toto started playing in my head.
Is that the like da, 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 in
It
Africa? Is that
rains down in Africa. Yeah.
Oh, Toto.
Mm,
Maybe that song is significant to you. Who knows?
maybe it is. Yeah, that started playing. I don't know. Let us know if that is significant. It just popped up in my head. Okay, this is the last question that we're going to do before we wrap up.
Okay, yes, because it's time to feed a baby,
Let's feed the baby.
change a baby.
Yeah, my nipples hurt, so
It's the letdown.
it's the letdown.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this one.
Okay.
Can my body handle pregnancy with autoimmune issues?
Short answer, yes.
Yeah.
Long answer, my guides are like, no. I'm like, that's really confusing.
No with a butt.
Yeah. Short answer, yes, yes, it can. No, do you believe that it can? Like, if you don't believe that your body can handle it, then no, it won't be able to handle it. But I actually read an article recently that people's autoimmune issues actually go away in pregnancy because
Wow.
your baby is not a parasite. It's a symbiotic relationship. Your baby, fetal cells from the baby go to wherever you need that support in your body to support their own pregnancy, to make it their healthiest version of pregnancy. And they've actually found fetal cells in mothers' tissues and brains 18 years after a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about those? I have clients that tell me though that their body sees their fetus as an intrusion, as an
And
invader.
I feel like that's very subconscious. I feel like that's maybe past life work, energetic
Yeah.
work, spiritual work.
Okay.
Like that's a different layer. Like,
Gotcha.
do you believe that your baby's a parasite? Did a past version of you believe that your baby's a parasite?
Oof.
Does your husband believe the baby's a parasite? Like
Does your
those
wife?
things, does your wife? Yes. Those things play a role in your pregnancy as well. So if you're having issues with like your health declines in pregnancy, that like dig into that. Dig into your
Yes.
beliefs around that. That's honestly just like leading you into another level of healing.
Yeah. And I think it's funny on a very practical level, I have quite a few clients that are pregnant with autoimmune issues and they have found a protocol that supports them. Both, like, some people are doing drug protocols, some people are doing more like health and natural protocols, like, and I mean natural just in terms of like no drugs or whatever. And they really are. And so many times I'll tell people, like, you're going to get pregnant on this day, and it like does not correspond with their cycle. And then they do. Like, you guys, there's things called spontaneous ovulation. Like, you know, like, things can happen. Your cycle can work. Like, if these babies want to come,
they're going to come through.
They're going to come. They're going to find a way. So I really feel with this, it's like, you know, what I feel like in this question, and I feel like a lot of times when I feel my clients who have this, it's like this like straight jacket. It's like this thing that you can't get off. It feels very punishing, right? So a lot of the like endometriosis, a lot of those, when I talk to those energies, that just feels very like captive, and just like, we got to like get rid of that energy too.
Oof. Yeah. And to dive into your perceived limitations of your body.
Yeah.
Like, why are you using this as a limitation?
Yes. Right. And then specific, I try to talk to autoimmune, like, it's like something's off.
It's normally your nervous system.
Right. Yeah. Something's like, because it's autoimmune to me is like miscommunication.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a bad thing. And it's like, but we're not, you know, like, oh,
I'm just a spleen.
Yeah. Like, don't attack. Oh, you know, it's like they're my guys are showing them as like stormtroopers. They're just like, we're programmed to attack. So it's like, it's almost like they're saying, like, you need to have a body conference. Oh, I love that term, you guys. A body conference. Like, check in, be honest, because as Natalie has taught me, like, your body goes through a lot with pregnancy. So
oh my God,
I feel like if an autoimmune is there in your pregnancy, like, it's part of like your work to do it, and you want to get pregnant, like, it's probably part of a healing as well.
It's a healing,
whether it's, you know, releasing it energetically, getting some medications for it, coming to terms with it is what I hear a lot, like, just accepting that you have this. Yeah. So just, you know, and then, you know, like, I think you shared, like, sometimes postpartum, you'll get stuff, or you'll get gestational diabetes or whatever, to like, they're saying like parade your health journey.
Yeah.
Like, they said parade because they want it to be fun.
I love that.
They don't want it to be like a death march of health, but like, yeah, like, I get to get healthy. I get to like, okay, it's sometimes we call it forced. It feels forced, but it's really just a parade of like, time to get healthy, time to switch this habit. Yeah, it really is. Because the babies are saying that they want us to be more healthy.
Yeah. I think as a collective, we're moving healthier. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a lot of mental health as well. Like, the mental health affects the physical, right?
It's a lot of energetics. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in the subconscious that's coming to light. And like, I feel like nervous system regulation plays a huge role in autoimmune issues, because they call them like idiopathic. Like, they don't know where it comes from. They don't know where it stems from. But a lot of it is from your nervous system not being regulated.
It's so much. We should talk a little bit about that, maybe just regulating nervous systems. I think that's a good thing. Maybe we could do like fresh anxieties, and then we can do like
regulations,
fresh ways to regulate, like, what we can balance it out. Another thing that I heard in this question, so as you guys know, like, how my gift works, I can, like, things like jump out at me. So it says, can my body handle pregnancy? Right. So kind of what I heard in that is, my mind can handle it. I can get through it, and I can just, but can my body, there's a disconnect, right? Like, because I can handle it up here. I can do it. I'm ready.
I can mentalize it.
I can make myself mentally pregnant. Yes. But like, physically, right? So it's like that. How do I get all systems to be in line? So remember, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually pregnant. All layers have to be in alignment to physically make that baby.
Yeah. And how do you feel about being in your body with all of these discomforts? Like, I've also found with clients, a lot of the times that they have physical discomfort is because it's their body trying to pull them back into it. It's like, hey, red flag, come back.
Yeah.
That's why you experience pain. That's why you experience these like illnesses, or why your soul chose to move through them.
Yeah.
Pulling you back in your body. And pregnancy will pull you back into your body. I know that I've talked about this, but pregnancy is embodiment, and it hurt.
like the physical symptoms of
yes,
having a baby and holding
and being
a baby.
pregnant. Oh my God, it's so physical.
I know. I think I remember at your shower, like something dropped and you like tried to reach for it and you're just like,
I can't get this.
She went like 2 inches. And
I
she's
can't
like,
reach this.
that's as far as I go. And I'm like, yeah, okay. In my yoga teacher training, when we did the pregnancy part, we had bolsters with
Yeah.
yoga straps tied around us. And so we had to like feel like what the poses felt like.
That's nice. That's good empathy training.
Yeah, because no, but it's weird. It like, because, I'm like, unless you have like a beer belly, like it's a unique, like rotund situation.
There are bones in there. Like you can't just bend. There are
What do you mean
bones
there are
in there.
bones in there? Oh, like the baby's bones?
Yeah, like there are bones in there. It's not like soft, squishy.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of weirds me out.
Oh, it should. It weirded me out.
I think my favorite part was like, you're like, there's teeth inside of me.
There's teeth.
I love it. Okay. So anything more on autoimmune pregnancy body stuff?
No, just I think yes, you can. Your body can handle pregnancy with autoimmune, but can you physically handle your body with an autoimmune issue being pregnant?
Yes. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. Good
Nothing more
question to
on
ask
that.
yourself.
Okay.
Dive into that. Journal around that for yourself. Why do I feel like my body can't?
Yeah. Ooh, I feel a lot of stories coming out.
Lots of stories.
And I think they kind of want to remind us, especially like that, with these stories around like, having a child who has had a difficult health journey, like you're probably constantly surrounded by like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for you. Like, this must be so awful. This must be so hard. That is in your psyche. Same thing like, your doctor as well, you have an autoimmune, so it's
what are the stories?
2% and da da da, and we don't know, blah blah blah. So you're just like taking all that in. So just like remember, if you go to appointments, if you are around people like that, they're saying to me, like, again, my favorite word, flush it out. Like it's not, if you don't, it's not your stories. Don't hold on to those.
Yeah. Write them out. Get them out of your system.
That's actually part of the lesson they're saying to me, is to not hold on to other people's stories, or to not let other people's experiences, stories define your own, that you truly have the power to create whatever life you want. Everyone here on this planet does.
Yeah.
It's just that it's kind of hard when we see so many other people doing things that we're like, oh, should mine be like that? Mine be like that? It's like,
I know,
a mirrored effect. It's understandable, they're saying, but you really truly can create anything you want. Try it out, they say.
Yeah, just try it. See how it goes for you.
Cash. Try it out. Just imagine your best life and then go get it.
Yeah.
Best. There we go again with that word.
Best. Oh, best. That word is my nemesis this year.
Hydrate.
There's hydration. Also affects breast milk. If you're not hydrated enough. Oh. Well, breastfeeding, what a journey. Well, I think that's good.
Yeah.
For this
Thank
episode.
you for your questions.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I hope that you find benefit in them. And if anything resonated with you, even if it wasn't the whole message, just like a piece of the message, then run with that. That's for you. You'll know.
Let us know. We'd love to know. We love to hear from you. We loved when we came back on that you guys were excited and we're laughing out loud and just, sharing us with your friends and stuff. So thank you again. We are happy to be here in season 3.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And when this episode airs, we will have a box in our stories on Instagram at No Such Thing as Normal Pod for you to submit more questions, or you could just DM us or email us at, what is it? No Such Thing as Normal Pod at gmail.com.
That is correct.
Okay, good.
And happy Aquarius season. We're recording this on the first day of Aquarius season, and happy new moon in Aquarius.
Soon, right? Or is that today?
I think it's like this weekend.
Oh, okay. I don't know. What day is it? Again, full circle. What is time?
Full circle.
What is
time? By the moon. What time is it? Moon in Aquarius time.
Yeah. What bird is chirping? It's the midnight bird.
Almost. It is.
Oh, good. Okay. With that, we will chat with you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.